All right, guys, we are back with another great episode of Basscast Radio. I am your host, Brian Carter, and well, as you see, Geek is out on the water today. You guys know, hopefully you're following Geek. Geek was at ICAST. Man, did he say he had a ball. So he is out catching up on content for you guys because it was a whole week away from everyone, and Geek always produces a lot of videos, and I mean 2 or 3 videos a week for you guys. So head on over, even though he's not here, head on over to Bass Geek's channel. Make sure you check out some of the latest videos that he has uploaded, and we should have a new podcast from Geek as well coming our way, which you'll be able to find on outdoorobsessionsradio.com. So check him out. Man, what a week has been here at the basscast.com. We had our kayak series event up on the Maury James River. Troy Wise ended up winning that. We appreciate all of you guys who have checked out the kayak content this year. There is one more event left. It's in 2 weeks on the Shenandoah. So I'd love to have you guys come on out for that. Everything that you need to know for our kayak series, guys, is up on the basscast.com. Entry fee, release, schedule, you name it. But like I said, there's only one more event left for you guys who enjoy fishing the river this time of the year. We would love to have you guys sign up. And Danielle's our tournament director for that, by the way, this year and hopefully next year as well, but we will see. So thank you to her for handling that. Also, man, I think we got the week off coming up right here at the basscast.com, and then we are back on the road for a few weeks. I know August there's a couple different events, and then back into September we roll. The Angler's Choice coming up, their classic. We got the Big Bass Tour on Smith Mountain Lake, so we'll have that again, part 2. So someone's going to take them on another big old boat. So congratulations to that person, whoever it might be. But it's always a great time for the Big Bass Tour, by the way, because we get to meet a lot of different people from a lot of different locations. So that's coming up. But guys, tonight on Basscast Radio, we got Mr. Dennis Stump. And for you guys who have not seen Drop Zone, there it is, guys. We're going to take it out. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the future. We're going to catch up with him. You guys saw him on Backstage Fishing with me and John Woodruff. And you guys need to get on Woodruff. And we need to bring Backstage Fishing back. So I'm doing all I can do, guys. But yeah, hopefully we can get that back up and running with Mr. Woodruff. And we appreciate him. But guys, we're going to take a quick break. And we'll be right back with Mr. Dennis Stump. All right, back in the house, Mr. Dennis Stump right here, guys. What's happening, brother? Welcome back. We're glad to have you back. First time we had you in, we're kind of just in the release of the tackle.
Early stages.
Yep. But a lot has been going on. A lot's happened. It's in a lot of different locations now.
Yep. It's growing good, man.
So good. We're gonna turn the mic over to you. Let you talk about. For those who don't know anything about the product, let's highlight it again. Why you created the product and what need did you think that it fulfilled?
Sure. So Drop Zone Tackle. When we first started, we made a rattle and drop shot weight. And I'll tell the quick story like I did last time I was here. But basically, we were fishing. We won a tournament at Leesville, and we were throwing a drop shot. And I went back on Wednesday to kind of practice because we had one the following weekend. And what happened was the fish were more suspended and kind of, they were in heavy cover, but they were not feeling any kind of heavy bait. No flipping baits, no jigs, no moving baits, buzz baits, crank baits. You couldn't get them to bite anything. So the water had turned a little dirty and they would bite a drop shot. But what I saw with the live scope, that you literally had to touch the fish with the drop shot to get them to bite. So kind of joking around with the angler that was with me, I was like, man, we need to make a drop shot weight with a rattle in it or something, because I know about putting rattles in the bait itself, but what happens is you change the action of the way that bait was designed. And the guys that design those baits, they they put a lot of time and effort into it. When you put a weight in it, you're changing the weight distribution of it, and it just flows different in the water. So that was the idea, was to put a rattle in a drop shot weight. Several months later, I hadn't done anything with it. I actually started playing around with it. I drilled holes in weights, and I did all the obvious things.
Right.
And then I realized, like I joked last time, I realized why it hadn't been done, because it was really difficult to get it to be done properly, something that would actually work. Because lead is a sound dampening material by nature, and when you put a rattle in it, it's gonna make it sound very muffled. So what happened was I ended up one day at work, I was kind of playing around with the idea, and I figured out how to do it.
Yeah.
And I went home and I made it, and it worked. And then so the business kind of took off from there. At first, it was just for us as anglers. My partner and I, we used it. I won a lot of tournaments with it, local tournaments, and then ultimately kind of turned into a business as other anglers wanted to try it. And Dustin Guthrie, he won a lot of night tournaments with it, and then it kind of took off from there. So
took off from there. And as you guys can see, there it is, guys. Check it out. It's in how many different locations now?
I don't have a number. It's a lot compared to what I thought it was going to be. All the way from California, I think we're in maybe 5 different tackle stores in California, but Tackle Tech is a distributor in California, and they distribute to 200 different stores.
Holy cow!
We're not in all of the 200
Yeah.
stores, because not all of them are appropriate for freshwater fishing. Some of them are closer to the coast, but that's just one of the distributors. Texas is a big player for us. They have a lot of lakes that, surprisingly, I wouldn't think it, but they love drop shotting there. Arizona, and then all the way across over to the East Coast. And we have a lot in Virginia. Local companies have been really, really good to us. So yeah, we're doing well as far as the growth goes. We have a long ways to go, and a lot of that's my fault, because I'm learning so slowly, and but I am learning. So we're getting there.
It's crazy at one time that Texas was the #3 location for people who viewed the basscast.com. Texas is it.
It's a lot of fishermen there.
Yeah, whole lot is. It used to be, I think, Virginia, North Carolina, and then Texas. And I was like, Texas? I was like, what in the world? And then it's like, then you know, now social media, people start popping up like, yeah, we follow you, we follow you, follow you. And they're like, all right, that's pretty freaking cool. So
yeah,
I mean,
the couple that stand out to me with orders that I get on the online site from rattleshot.com is Ohio and Indiana.
Oh wow.
Yeah, they order a lot, and so I reached out to some companies there, and some pro staff members there, and yeah, it's crazy what you get, but I mean, people that are interested find what they want, and so far so good. But
yeah, you filled a need here. I mean, like I said, I mean, and that's the main thing about it. As you see, there it is right there. For those who are watching the video, fill a need. But what sizes do they come in?
So we originally started with 4 sizes. That was 3/16, quarters, 3/8, and halves.
Okay.
And we originally started with the line grip swivel, because that is the most popular.
Yeah.
You can either put your line in and it kind of cinches down and it'll hold it on by design. If you get snagged, you can pull it off without losing your hook and the rest of your leader, without having to retie and waste a lot of time, especially in a tournament situation. But we've recently gone to 2 different swivel types, which is awesome. So now we have a round line tie. So you can tie it on, or you can use the crimp style. You can also tie that, but a lot of people just crimp it on for the reasons I already said. But now we have the line tie as well. And one of the big requests we have was a round line tie to do the free rig. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but basically it's just free sliding up and down your line above the hook. So let's just say you're fishing a brush pile in 15 foot of water. You can throw this out. The weight will actually get down a lot faster than the bait, obviously, especially if you keep an open bail.
Oh yeah,
throwing it on the bait, on the spinning rod. So the weight will get down, and then a few seconds later, here comes this bait just kind of barely coming down. And if those bass are suspending above the brush, it's killer.
Wow.
I mean, I hate to give that away, but it is killer. Yeah, they really like it. So imagine.
So hold that up. Show everybody.
So this is one of our powder coated versions.
There you go.
Yeah. That's one of the powder coated versions, and that is with the round line tie. If you guys can see that, and that's a noise. That's a 3/8 there.
We hear it. So what colors does it? So is there more than just a black, or?
That's the only one we have now for powder coated. But again, they come in the natural color, like he's already shown, and that's the line grip version there. We have the line tie version for all of those. So it either comes in the natural lead color or in black. And the black is in the quarter, 3/8, and halves. And I'll tell you why that is here in just a couple minutes, why we don't have it in the 3/16. But one thing I'm really excited about is that I just got these in yesterday. and the packaging will be here soon. So they'll be available maybe in the next couple weeks. And that is our newest size and the most requested size, and that's an 1/8 ounce. So you guys can see that. I don't know if you can see the size on it. I'll try to focus it. That's an 1/8 ounce, and all the sizes are stamped right on the side of the weight, and you can hear that.
Heck yeah!
And to be an 1/8 ounce, it makes a lot of noise. And we have those both in the line grip and the line tie swivel type. So those will be available in a couple weeks. Something I wanted to tell you though is that I went on the website today and I was able to program it right. So you can pre-order the 1/8 ounce now, and with now that you guys are the only ones that know about it, if you go on there, there's a 15% discount for any pre-order. So go ahead and pay for them.
You heard that.
I have plenty of weights on hand. I don't have the packaging yet. They should be here in, I'm going to say 2 weeks just to be safe. But the packaging will be here, and I will package them and get all the orders out. But if you pre-order it now, you get 15% off of the 1/8 ounce weights.
And I'll be ordering because love fishing the river. And we just talked about it's really nice because they come through the rocks real easily, and you don't lose as many.
Yep.
And most time, you guys know, for the river around here, for us, we're fishing most time in 4 to 5 feet of water, so it's not tremendously deep. And we're looking for yetis and everything else. But
and one of the things about the lake is like I don't fish the river much, so that's kind of your area. But with the lake, when those guys that have forward facing sonar and they see the fish that are suspended on poles, dock pylons, brush, or whatever, a lot of times that fast fall can get those bass to commit and react to it. But one of the things, if you're on bass and then you go back and they're still there, but you can't get them to bite, like the number one thing to change is your rate of fall. And I don't think that's a secret, but you change your rate of fall. A lot of anglers get kind of lazy. They don't want to change their weight size. They just want to keep fishing until they find fish that are biting. They want to keep throwing the same thing, or maybe even switch techniques completely. If you're throwing a Texas rig or a Carolina rig, or even a drop shot, especially a drop shot, shaky head, change your rate of fall and see if it gets those fish to react, because sometimes they're just a little bit more lethargic, and that slow fall will get them to commit to it, or at least follow it where they'll commit to it on the bottom. But the 1/8 ounce is going to help in that. And again, when you get it down to the bottom, or even if you swim it by a fish and you shake it, they'll bite that. That's just a sound. It's a technique that they're just not that familiar with it. They know drop shot, but they don't know drop shot with a very realistic sound with it.
Yeah, sometimes just that one little change can fire them all up. So
and it gives you options. One thing I don't think I really hit on in the last podcast we did was the drop shot is such a powerful technique because it's a finesse technique and it catches piles of fish. No one can argue with that. But having a rattle in the weight gives you the chance to throw it in areas that you normally wouldn't throw it. If the water is stained, most anglers, stained to muddy, most anglers are not going to feel comfortable throwing a drop shot because it doesn't displace very much water. It doesn't make any sound at all until now. And those bass, unless you happen to get it right beside a bass, he's not going to know it's there. Therefore, he's not going to bite it. When you put some sound with it, those bass are more comfortable swimming around in dirty water because they're not as worried about birds, clear water, predators like us, as far as the trolling motor noise, or just seeing the boat as it's cruising by if no electronics are on in your super shallow water. But they can hear that drop shot from so far away, and thick cover. If they, again, we talked about even in clear water, if they can't see it, they're not going to bite it. Well, now they can feel it and hear it, and it's all done in a very natural, non-threatening way. So we can revisit that later, but that's what it does. And the rattle and drop shot weight gives you an opportunity to throw it in places that you just normally couldn't throw it because the bass wouldn't know it was there.
What do they retail for?
So it's $5.99 per pack. And that is if you get the 3/16 or the quarter. This is a quarter. The 3/16 and the quarter, you get 5 per pack, and the 3/8 and the halves, you get 4 per pack. They're all $5.99 across the board, and that also includes the 1/8 ounce. The 1/8 ounce will come in 5 per pack.
All right, so let's move on, man. Since the last podcast, we did talk about the business side a little bit, the last podcast, and what has been some of the things that Dennis has learned. By the way, guys, we're talking to Dennis Stump right here with Drop Zone Tackle. But what's been some changes for you, man, as being a first-time business owner?
Well, there's a learning curve for sure.
Yes.
But one thing that I knew going into it, and this is with any profession, this is with podcasting or professional angling or small business owner, is you need 2 things to do a job. One is the willingness, and the other is the ability. Most people that start something like I started, you have the willingness because you're very excited when you first start.
Oh yeah,
you're enthusiastic. You have these big dreams of what it could be. But if you don't have the ability, and most people don't when they start, they may know a little bit about the subject. They're not a subject matter expert. They could be, but they don't have the knowledge of running the business side of it. So that's not something I didn't have the ability to do that. So I have really invested my time to learn as much as I can through listening to podcasts, talking to people that have been where I was and
Yeah.
are where I want to be, and reading books and whatnot. So I've kind of invested a lot of my time in doing that. So I have the willingness, and I'm starting to grow the ability, and therefore the business is starting to grow.
Dude, it never changes. It nothing, I mean, it never, the learning curve never gets old. I mean, even in stages with the basscast.com, I mean, as we have grown, I've had to grow as well. And also now we're looking, you guys have all known that we're looking at moving into the next phase. The next phase is going to be a whole lot of money. I mean, we're talking about thousands of dollars money, because we want to make that leap. And, just like Dennis here, before there was no, he made the weights and put them in a plastic bag, and you guys got them. And now there's a pretty little case that goes in them. And, even to you, I mean, I have to congratulate you on this, because I've been in business now doing this for like 12 years. And still from time to time, I get baits in just a freaking Ziploc bag.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like maybe a card in it that tells you what it is. So, I mean, for you to make this leap and to get this far, this fast, I think is pretty, tremendous for you. So congratulations on that.
I appreciate that. Doing shows, talking to people like you guys, doing trade shows and things like that. That's really helpful, because a lot of people will come up with great ideas, and I don't discount them because they haven't been there, done that. I'm open to all advice, and I got a lot of really good advice. The 1/8 ounce, I heard time and time again, do you make them any smaller than 3/16? Not something I've never fished 3/16. I do now. That's almost my go-to when I'm fishing. But I've never fished any smaller than that. And I never would have thought about a round line tie. Why would have? Because the other one was working so good for me. So I'm so narrowly focused in what I do as a tournament angler. I don't know about the other options or possibilities of making money on it. But number two, helping anglers is the most important part. Why wouldn't I help those guys and try to come out something that they feel would be beneficial to them? And because I've had an open mind with that, I've learned a lot. I clearly don't know everything there is to know. I'm not even close. But I do know that we're starting to see some success, and I don't want to get lazy with the small details that have gotten me to this point. So I'm going to continue with those and try to grow. And I can take zero credit for it, because I've had some great people. John Cruz has been unbelievable. He just called a few minutes ago when I was upstairs talking to you. Dale Black with Gamelan has been awesome, and I can go down the list, and I don't want to leave anyone out, so I'm not going to go on a long rant about that. So anybody that's helped me, I really appreciate you guys.
All right, let's go back to what you were talking about, the trade shows.
Mm-hmm.
From being that spectator to going to the Richmond Expo and walk around and just taking a look at what's new, to standing there in your own booth for 8 hours until Brian comes and relieves you so you can go to the bathroom.
I appreciate that.
Or you go get food, or however else it goes. Because guys, he did almost all these trade shows by yourself.
Yep. I have
friends. And the East Tennessee one about killed you.
Nuts. Yeah.
About killed you, because we were there.
Nuts.
So
so I have some friends and stuff that are at other booths, but they have commitments to those guys that they're helping, and they would try to come over every now and then if I need a bathroom break or something.
But what I really want to go at for this whole thing is being a new business person and doing these and throwing the money out there to do. I mean, it's an investment. You're looking at $1,000. I mean, even I've done one and I'll never do it again, but that's just because of the business I'm in.
Right.
But you're looking at $1,000 per trade show, nights, weekends, gas, hotels, unless you want to sleep out of your car.
Yeah, minimum 1,000. So you're going to pay $500 minimum for booth space. That's a 10 by 10 booth. And that doesn't count any of the materials that you're going to put in the booth, the backdrop, the flooring, the shelves. Excuse me. So all of those things are, they're a necessity. So that first show, I was in it for several $1,000s. And I'm laughing when you start saying that, because I remember it was the Raleigh show, and they finally opened.
Yeah, I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was on a Friday when they started. They opened the doors, and these guys they're coming in, and they're going to all the good booths, the same stuff that you and I would do as a fisherman.
We're going to the big boys,
rod companies and reels, and there was a general store beside me, and those guys were killing it, and super nice people. But these guys are walking by my booth just time after time, and I see them glancing at the sign. I see them reading rattle and drop shot weight, and they just keep moving, and I'm like, oh man. So for like the first 10 minutes, no one's coming to the booth, and I'm like, Oh my gosh.
I just spent all
what have I
freaking money and
done?
no one's coming.
No, this might just be a complete failure. But you know what? I averaged what I needed to average to cover the show in one day, and that was travel expenses
Right.
and the sorry for the
No.
entry and all of that stuff. So I covered that in the first day. So the next 2 days, that Saturday is super busy. Sunday morning's pretty good, but after church is really busy.
Mhm.
Then it dies off pretty quick. But just to have the experience, and I tell you that the connections that I made with people that own other businesses, we still talk to this day, and that's from each show that I did. So it was
Right.
well worth it. The response was great, and it is kind of a niche market. So I'm not appealing to every fisherman out there. But again, each person that come to the booth, whether they bought something or not, they left me with some knowledge or a question that maybe I couldn't answer. So I learned so much from it.
And the cool thing about it is, like you just said, even though they might not fish a drop shot, their buddy does.
Right.
And they're like, hey, I checked out this really cool product at an expo.
Mm-hmm.
And next thing you don't know, I guess, you don't know the residual of the show afterwards.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you made your money. Yes, you pay for the table, which is a blessing for any brand new company to come out to break even.
Right.
Because most time, we go in the hole.
Yeah.
Big time. But to break even, make your money, but the residual about, I guess to say what I want to try to say, we recommend you do a show. I mean, if you really want to get your product out there, be as professional as possible, drop the extra money. I mean, you guys know, I mean, Salt Willie Baits. I mean, you guys remember Salt Willie. I mean, he had all the baits and he put them all in a plastic bag, had his name on it, real nice. You ain't got to go crazy for an expo, but just show up, man.
Yeah. Show up and listen and talk to guys. And I was kind of nervous, but when I realized that, and I realized this before the show, but it became real to me as I talked to 20, 30, 40
Right.
people. At the end of the day, it wasn't a sales pitch. It was more like, hey, this is what we do, and if you fish, especially competitively, here's how it can help you. So
Right.
when I feel a void or I meet a need, it's not a sales pitch. It's not something that I need to convince them. It's not so much me convincing you to spend your money. It's me showing you how I can help you. If it helps you and you want to buy it, that's great. That's a bonus. But you're going to walk away knowing that I was genuine and that I was trying to help you. And if young guys that are doing businesses and stuff, if they will realize that sales is not about convincing or tricking, it's about helping. When you do that, you're going to grow. There's just no way around it.
I mean, I'll be honest, even for us, I mean, when we made that first big trip to the Bassmaster Classic and I got to meet a lot of different people, it just started boom. I mean, if it wasn't for making that one little leap and dropping the $1,000 to go, I can't even remember which one I went to, but yeah, just making the leap and going and that leap of faith. And this is where you are now. So, I mean, it paid off.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, every dime that we made, we've reinvested into the new swivel type and to build up stock and to do the new size, which you have to create molds for the new size weights.
Right.
But we also have a new product called the Rattle Rig. So that was some investment in that. Apparel, decals, taxes is a huge one.
Oh yeah.
Advertising and any small amount, packaging. So it's just constant. But I knew going into it that in the first 3 to 5 years, I'm really not going to make any money. And that's not 100% why I'm in the business. Number one, it's been incredible for my kids to see that I went from an idea to a business. And my youngest daughter, Layla,
that's pretty cool.
She is so cool about coming down and helping me package weights or to package orders. And she's seen it and she's asked me so many times. And I know sometimes she's just trying to be nice, but sometimes it's really sticking with her. How come, when did you think of this idea? And how come you were able to make it into a business? Well, one day that's going to be her, because she's seen not only that it can happen, but she's seen each step along the way. And if nothing else happens, if my kids are successful because of it, that's going to be incredible.
All right, guys, we are talking to Dennis Stump with Rattle Tackle, Drop Zone Tackle, about, there it is, man, the rail shot. All right, let's dive into some more of the awesome product here. Guys, like you said earlier, the Rattle Rig. I'll give it back to you, man.
Sure.
Check it out. What made you come out with this, man? I mean, I know it was pretty hot. It's been pretty daggone hot. So
yeah. So this is the Rattle Rig. It's a Rattle and Zika rig. If you guys aren't familiar with it, it's pronounced Zika, but it's spelled Jika, and it's a technique from Japan.
Yes.
So ours is the only one that rattles on the market that I'm aware of. I know that Owner has theirs. Gamakatsu has one.
There's a couple different companies.
Probably some other companies that have it as well. We called ours the Rattle Rig for obvious reasons, but that's our 3/8 ounce rattle shot weight that's attached. And so we have them in halves, 3/8, and quarters.
Okay.
They're all powder coated black, and they all have a welded metal ring. You can see there's two rings there. One's a welded metal ring and the other's the split ring that holds the weight on. And there's a reason for that. You actually tie your line to the welded metal ring, not to the split ring. And what that's going to do, it's going to allow you to get freedom of movement on your bait. So when you tie to that, your bait's going to be able to move freely. If you're punching in grass, you don't need 1.5 ounces weight to do that. You can get it through thick cover because that weight falls first.
Yeah.
Your line's going to fall with the bait, almost like a upside down V, and it's going to go in nose first, and that's going to get through the grass a whole lot easier. And then you're going to add that attraction sound of that weight, something that hasn't happened before. But to answer your question, the reason that I thought of this is not because I thought of it. It was because Dale Black from Gamma Line called me one day. He goes, "Man, I have a great idea for you." I'm like, "Go ahead. I'm all ears." So he said, "Hey, owner has their owner rig, and I think it would be awesome if it rattled."
Right.
So there's where you come in. And he even came up with the name. I said,
Oh, wow.
Dale, that's a fantastic idea. So we chatted about it for a little bit. I was at work one day. We talked about it 2 or 3 times, and then I started working on it. And a few months later, I was able to get it together, and now it's out.
What size hook does this come on?
It comes in a 3/0 and 4/0. Right now, we're going with VMC. We're trying to continue to work with those guys. I love VMC. I use it a lot.
We love VMC. We use the drop shot hooks.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the supply chain is hard for everyone right now. So it's hard for them to sell in bulk, because if they sell in bulk to me, they're missing out on other customers that are going to buy from them. So if we can get that worked out, that's great. We're going to stay with them. And if not, I don't want to be limited on how often I'm able to come out with a new supply of rattle rigs. So I may have to switch companies, but I'll always put as best quality in there as I can possibly do. But right now, there's VMC extra wide gap hooks, 3/0 and 4/0. And each size, 1/4 ounce, 3/8, and half, they all have the two different
hook sizes.
Yeah. Yep. And this is what the packaging looks like there.
What are we looking for the retail on them?
These are $6.49 retail, and you get 2 to a pack. I know there's only one in there. It's just because I took one out to show it. Yes. But this is the 3/8 ounce, and you can see right here, that is the 4/0 version there. And you get 2 to a pack.
All right. Let's move on. The future. We talked about the past. Let's talk about the future. What is happening? Guys, I don't even know what's going on, because we haven't really had a chance to catch up, because we ain't been doing a lot of fishing around here in Central Virginia because it's too daggone hot.
Well, not hot enough for me. I love it hot.
He loves it hot. But
my partner and I, we always tease. We say rattle shots and flip flops. That's the way we like it. And
he puts the red slipper shoes away for the sandals, boys and girls.
Yeah, I do. I have great tan lines on my feet. All right. So the future is one thing that's really exciting that's just happened, and I don't think I've even told you about it.
No, I know nothing.
Yeah. So I talked to Jim Bowman, and he's with Pittman Creek.
Yes.
And he's a buyer for them.
We know them very well.
And we've been through the entire process. I haven't added the 1/8 ounce weights to the lineup yet, but I have the line grip swivel and the line tie swivel, and we're working on getting enough inventory to support those guys for the rattle rigs. And again, that's the hooks are holding us up. But Jim is a super great guy to work with. And thanks to John Cruz for giving me a reference to those guys. But as we've worked through the process, I just recently talked to Jim Bowman, and he said that he's putting together an order. It's not official yet, but we should be in Pittman Creek hopefully within the next month. Yeah, so I'm really excited about that, because everyone knows they're an incredible company to work with, and that they're all over the country.
Yes.
So instead of me spending every day, which I do, by the way, calling tackle store after tackle store after tackle store to say, yeah, send us your catalog, and then I don't hear anything back, and I know they're busy and it's not their fault, but that's just the life that I've been living. So those guys are gonna, because I'm gonna make a little less per pack, and they're gonna get their cut. But I mean, without them, my growth is minimum, and those guys.
It's the Walmart deal, man.
Yeah, those guys are gonna take it to the next level. They sell to Dick's Sporting Goods. They sell to Walmart. So
that is awesome.
That's really exciting. I'm really excited about it. So that's the future of drop zone tackle now, for right now.
Yes.
I have bigger plans than that. I don't think that's going to be the end all for everything. So I have some other things planned, but as far as products go in the future, I'm working on the shaky head right now. It's a rattling shaky head. I know there's a few on the market. But just like the drop shot weight, I plan on taking it to another level, hopefully, and I'm gonna do it to where I feel comfortable fishing it in tournament situations where there's money on the line, because I feel like if you can be successful there,
Right.
then other anglers will get a benefit from it. So that's what we're working on right now, and that'll be coming out. The downside of that is I don't have a name for it yet.
Ooh.
Which is why I came up with this idea right before I came to your house.
There we go.
I would like to ask you guys what your opinion is.
Talk to them, man.
I would
Don't
love
talk to me.
Yeah, I would love to hear what you guys think. I'm trying to come up with a name for a rattling shaky head. It's going to come in 3, possibly 4 sizes. Most likely, we're going to go with a mustad hook, which is awesome straight shank hook. I like mustad as well. So I would like to know what you guys think. What should we call it? What's a clever name to call our drop shot? I'm sorry, our shaky head weight bait. And so I would like to give away a prize pack, which is going to include Drop Zone Tackle t-shirt. That's a short sleeve.
And it's white, my favorite dirty color.
A hat, a decal, and a couple packs of weights. So that's going to be the prize pack. If you guys are interested in participating, you can just hit up Brian.
So what we need you to do is is when the show gets uploaded, guys. After the show, we need you, after you listen to the show, we need you to go to our Facebook page, and you need to make a comment of what you think it should be called. Dennis going to be paying attention to it. I am not going to do any of this. This is all his, and he's going to handle it. He's going to ship it to you guys, and we're going to announce the winner. And maybe we'll do a live somewhere out and about. We'll catch up and do a little live.
Sure.
And announce the winner on Facebook. So head on over there now.
If we don't do it before, we'll definitely be at the Big Bass tournament. I'll be fishing, and hopefully I'll weigh in one, and we'll talk about it then.
There you go.
We'll sit down and do an interview.
The Big Bass tourney on Smith Mountain Lake. I think Jacob said he might fish a day. I think a couple different people said they might fish a day or two this one.
It's a lot of fun. That tournament's such a good format. But yeah, I would love to hear you guys' thoughts. I've thrown a couple ideas around. I won't say them just in case you guys are coming up with your own, but I would love to hear it. And whatever one is chosen to be used, you'll get the prize back. I'll contact you and we'll send it out to you. And I appreciate any input you guys have.
Wow. What, you're talking about Pittman Creek is pretty funny. I know a husband and wife team that used to travel and visit tackle stores in their camper. They had a van. And they traveled tackle store to tackle store, tackle store.
Yeah.
I mean, this beating the pavement is hard work, man.
That's tough. And gas is not cheap right now.
No.
So that was out of the question. That is something that we actually discussed late last year, early this year. I was going to take some vacation days and just plan a route, drive to New York and hit every tackle store on the way.
That's awesome.
Stay there and then take a different route on the way home. But
you can sleep out the Forerunner.
I would sleep wherever. I don't care. But yeah, just to get it done. So, but with gas prices, it's just not doable.
It is.
I'm just not able to afford that. But I call tackle stores, and man, most people are so receptive to the idea of just at least looking at the product catalog. And a lot of them are very honest about, hey, it's just not for us right now. Hey, we're slowing down a little bit, or hey, there's not a lot of drop shot guys here. So now that we're coming out with new products, we're going to appeal to all of those guys that were kind enough to listen to us, but just wasn't for them. So we're looking forward to it. We're growing. I think we're heading in the right direction, and I appreciate everyone's support.
Dennis, if this is down, I'm throwing this out there. It's down the road here. Your vision for the company itself. How many products would you like to end up with, man? I mean, 3, 4, 5.
I'm not going to put a limit on what the Lord puts on my heart, but as new ideas come up, and I just was talking to John Cruz about a new idea just an hour or two ago, and I'm excited about that. So I know the shaky head, we haven't even made the molds yet, and as the molds come out and we make those, it's going to be costly, but we're going to get through it like we have all the others, and that'll be out, and then we'll move on to the next idea. And I'm just not going to put a limit on it because I'll just keep going until it doesn't work.
There you go. We spoke earlier, and I'll finish this real quick. We've actually spoken about this a couple different times about a content creator for the company.
Yep.
What needs do you have that people might be able to reach out that just says, hey, I love your product, I love the idea, I would just like to help you get it out there, help you grow, etc.
Yeah, sure. So unfortunately, I work a full-time job. I have a wife and 2 kids.
Amen.
Right. I don't make as much as you, but we're
Amen.
So what I would like to see is if anyone can help me with the content, and I know like content is king, and I do a little
It
bit
is.
of stuff on social media, but I'm just not there, and I know that that's just not my forte. I'm not great with coming up with new ideas a couple times a day that would be required to get the word out there constantly. Hope that one goes viral and then use that as an ad. I mean, I get the process, but that's just not my arena. So
Yeah.
I would like to, if anyone that is out there that thinks they can help me, what I have in mind is I would like to stop being so narrowly focused on my tournaments. What I do, I want to be focused more on where the company can go, and I'm growing into that, but I'm just not there yet.
Right.
So if anyone's out there that they feel like they can create quality content and work on a commission based salary, I would like to talk to you, because if you can do something that gets me sales and it's not costing me anything out of pocket to take a chance, I'm happy to pay you. That's not an issue. But it's just something that we have to talk about and
Yep.
see. So I don't know where it would go. I don't know who that person is, but I'm leaving my options open.
So
I'd
if
love to
you
hear from
are
you
out
guys.
there and you'd like to be a part of the company, message him, hit him up on social media. And we need to work on a few things. We're gonna get it straight. But yeah, hit him up on social media. They can reach you, they can email you as well via the website.
Yep.
So plug the website again. They for some reason don't freaking know what it's called. And any of your social media platforms.
Yeah, so all social media, it's Drop Zone Tackle, and my website is rattleshot.com. Again, that's rattleshot.com, and anyone can hit us up. There, it's all the contact information is at the bottom of any of the pages on the website. And again, I wanted to just say one more time on the website today, because I spent some time doing it. The 1/8 ounce weights are now available for pre-order. You can go ahead and buy them, and as soon as the packaging comes in, and I have them packaged, I will send them to you. And there's a 15% off for anyone that does the pre-order. But again, rattleshot.com is the website. Drop Zone Tackle at Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook.
All right, guys, we're going to take a quick commercial break and we'll be right back.
Perfect.
All right, guys, man, we appreciate Dennis coming over and being on the show tonight. That was out of the blue for me, because Dennis hit me up the other day and like, hey, man, I want to be back on the show. We got a lot of great new product coming out that we want to talk about and get it out there to you guys so you can see what's happening. And it's pretty cool. I mean, we got John Cruz and Missile Baits. You guys know David Dudley just came out some Cinco's, and he's got his stand-up shaky head. And we got Dennis Stump, man. Lots of great stuff right here in Central Virginia, an hour away from the basscast.com. Blessed right here to have some amazing people, as well as some amazing lakes and rivers right here in Virginia. So if you ever want to come to Virginia and do some bass fishing, especially, win a lot of money, we talked about it earlier, the Big Bass Tour, come on over and we'd love to have you. All right, guys, don't forget if you all fish kayak bass fishing, we'd love to have you on the Shenandoah River. It's not this weekend. It is the following weekend is our last regular season event. So we'd love to have you fish with us. And it's a $35 entry fee. I think it's 30 and then 35, $5 for the big fish. It doesn't matter. Go to the website, click on Kayak Bass News, either on your phone or on the computer, and get registered, get signed up, and we'll love to have you and love to see you and get to meet you. So we have a lot of great anglers that fish with us. We probably have about 25 to 30 who are regular anglers that fish with the basscast.com. So that's it from me. Hopefully we'll have Geek back on, and we're going to talk about ICAST 2022. Hopefully you guys got to check out a lot of great videos. Derek Hudson was down there. Hopefully we'll get him back on the show. You guys know we had a Bassmaster Elite event. I think I looked at for those playing fantasy fishing. Yes, we do have fantasy fishing here at the basscast.com. We got 21 more days until the next event. So there's a lot going on, a lot happening, and we love taking you along on the journey. So if you want to be a part of the show, want to be on the show, sponsor the show, just DM me, DM the Facebook page, thebasscast.com. Love to have you. And for those who are following the basscast.com on Facebook, we actually have our own Basscast Radio page, group, whatever you guys want to call it. Love to have you become a member of the group. I want to start adding some more stuff to the show. There's so many ideas that run through my head. There's not enough time in a day to do them all, but we'd love for you to be a part of that and get your input and your feedback and all the great stuff. So check us out on all the podcasting networks. Have a great day, everybody. We'll talk to you later.